Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive forms in Angular, where we will mainly focusing on how to submit a data with minimum one item validation for the form array. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand this thing, like how to perform validation, to check whether minimum one item is validated properly or not for the form array. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use reactive form in Angular for one item validation. Okay, alright. So, and for the detailed content, you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3,400 plus videos, which is completely free for all of you and available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can consume the content. Okay. Alright, so now firstly we will understand the requirement, like what we are going to build, and then we will see the prerequisites as well as the modules that we have defined here. So requirement is very simple and straightforward. Like we have one form where we will add two buttons. One is for adding the skill and another one is to submit the form. Also we will allow user to remove the skills if someone added it by mistakenly, or maybe if someone wants to change it later. Okay, now with these requirements, let's try to define the form. So firstly we will go to app.component.ts file. Then here in app.component.ts file we will simply look at this imports array, where I have defined the required thing like reactive form module, which will allow us to use the reactive or define the reactive form. Then we have if for Angular conditional statement, then ng for Angular for loop, JSON pipe for the JSON preview value. Okay, now once these things are imported, there are other things also like form array, form builder. So these things will be added by the code. Usually automatically it happens because you are using editor, but let's say if it is not added then you need to add it manually, because without these things it won't work. Okay, alright, so now next thing what we have is the class. So you can see inside the class, firstly I have specified this form array. Okay, now in form array, like I'm using this constructor, so constructor private of fb form builder. So like it means that we can refer this form builder with fb. Then this dot user form equals to this dot fb dot group. Then we have skills array, so this dot fb dot array of blank array, then comma validators required. So here is the interesting thing, like we have kept the arrays blank, and also we have attached this Validators.required, which is mainly looking for the minimum one required value. Okay, so this thing is ready. That means the form builder is ready now, form group is ready now, where we have defined one skills array, and in this skills array we have blank array. Okay, now we have this getter method which will use getter method. So it is mainly used to get the skills. So return this dot form user form dot get a skills as form array. So what it will do, it will allow us to get the access to the values earlier. Okay, then we have this add skill method. So add skill method is mainly used to add the skill to the existing skills array. Okay, so here we are checking this dot skills dot push, this dot fb dot control blank value validators dot required. So here at the time of adding skills, we are checking if the validator is not required, then in that case it will throw the error. Okay, so you can clearly see we have added two things. One is for the skills. Okay, one validation is for the skills, that array should contain one value and another one at the time of inserting the values. Then we have this remove skill method, which is nothing but a method that will take one parameter, because we all know that remove at needs an index. Okay, so remove skills index number this dot skills dot remove at index. Okay, so whenever user click on this remove skill method, it will process this remove skill method and get the value as an index, and according to the index it will remove the value. Next we have is the submit method. So this submit method will allow us to submit the values, but before submitting it we are checking if this dot user form dot invalid. If it is invalid, then it will check this dot user form dot mark all as touched. Okay, so if any of the values invalid, then it will mark all as touched and return it. Otherwise it will show the message console.log this dot user form dot value. Okay, so yeah, this is a simplest method that will allow us to submit the form data. So whatever we wanted to define inside this app.component.ts file is completed. Now it's time to go to app.component.html file, where we have these all things. So first thing is heading 1 that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Then heading 2, reactive form in Angular, minimum 1 item is required. Then horizontal row, and inside this we have defined the form. So in form group is user form, and this submit is submit. So whenever users submit any button, click on any submit button, it will process this submit method by default. Okay, then we have this div for form array name skills, and inside that we have another div. So ng for let skill of skills dot control let I equals to index. What it will do, it will check for the index, and according to the index it will add the input field. So input form control name I, placeholder is enter skill. At the same time we are also providing one button to remove the skills. Okay, so button type is button, click remove skill of I. So it will be processed on the basis of index value. Okay, so here I'm using I for index. Then we are checking for we have mentioned the remove. That means if user wants to remove the skills, he or she can directly click here. Then to br tag for break line, div for closing div, another closing div, and here I have put this comment because we are checking for the validation thing. So here I'm checking if ng skill dot invalid and skills dot touch style is color of red, at least one skill is required. Okay, so it will check if this condition is true. That means if form skills is invalid or touched, then in that case, if both skill or touched, not or, it's and. Okay, then it will show this message, at least one skill is required. Then we have next button to add the skill. So type is button, click add skill. Then to br tag, and then one button to submit the data. Okay, then form closing, one horizontal row and one pre tag to pre-formatted values. So user form dot value is JSON. So what it will do, it will simply show the data in the JSON format. Okay, now simply run the program. So ng serve --- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds, then it will show you the output inside the browser. So you can see here we have got the output. So Angular course by Sharmit is the main heading. Reactive form in Angular, minimum 1 item validation, one horizontal row, two buttons are there. One is for add skill, another one is for submit. So if user wants to add the skill, let me show you one thing. Click on right click and then inspect console. If user wants to add a skill, click here, put the skills like React, then add skill. So you can see it is showing at least one skill is required. Why? Because if it is empty, it will show this error. Even if you want to try submit, it won't allow. But if you put something, let's say Angular, and click on add skill, now it is showing this error for this one, not for this one. Okay, So as many values you want to add, just add it. In case if you want to remove anything, you can remove, otherwise you can submit. So when all validation is passed, you submit the data, so it will show you this. Skills array of 2, React Angular on 0 and 1 index, length is 2. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.